I think we are here. Pretty nice. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I think we are streaming properly. So, thank you all for joining us. When you're here and you're ready, type into the chat. Let me know who you are, where you're from, because I don't get to see you on this format. I see Ann Cooley has already typed into the chat. And you do not need to sign up for Etude Today. She says she plans to sign up for Etude Today along with the Etudes. Do I suggest harp pieces to also study? First of all, and you do not need to sign up for Etude Today because you already own it. It's part of your My Harp Mastery subscription. So if you go into your library, when you log on to Harp Mastery, if you go into your library, you will see the Etude a Day course listed right there. And you've got the whole Etude a Day course already there for you. So just so everybody can be clear on this, Etude a Day is a standalone course that we sell for $75, but it's included with your My Harp Mastery membership, which is kind of an interesting financial thing because My Harp Mastery is only $47 a month, but the Etude a Day course is $75, and you don't need to buy it if you're a My Harp Mastery member. So there you go. Hello, Mia. I'm so glad you're here and you're watching on YouTube. Excellent. You are in Bryan, Ohio, and Michelle is here from San Antonio, Texas. Yay. Hi, Michelle. So the My Harp Mastery membership in that respect is a really good deal. Now, back to Ann's question, do I have etudes I recommend along with, or pieces I recommend along with the etudes for the Etude a Day challenge? I'm not sure that there are lists of recommendations. That would be good to do, and this might be a resource that I need to think of. There are some review lessons that help you take those etudes a little bit further. So it's not just the 25 etudes, but there are 3 or 4 review lessons along the way that help you take care of that. So those are there. And in addition, and go to the My Harp Mastery site with the featured pieces and look for those, and you'll see some of those line up pretty well with the etudes. And if you need more help on those, ask me on a Monday night call. I will be on this Monday night too, so I'll be taking 3 of the calls in May, so I'm excited about that. So Tana is here from Springfield, Missouri. Wonderful. Or Springfield, Missouri, I should say, right? You can just tell I wasn't from there, or I would have said it right to start with. So hello, Tana. So anybody have questions about anything? Your birthday's in May. Nice, Mia. Well, happy birthday in advance then. So that's wonderful. May's a good month. So yeah, exactly. If you have specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. I had a really fun morning. I always look forward to this. I took one of my harps to be regulated today, and I was so looking forward to this because it wasn't this harp, it was another one. But I was so looking forward to having my harp regulated because I missed it last year. And the harp I took is the harp that I take everywhere. Oh, Ellen is here. Ellen Slingerland from State College. Nice. Excellent. So, we have, the regulator and I have a pretty good relationship, and I was so disappointed not to have that particular harp seen to last year because I take that harp everywhere and play it so much, and it really, really needed it. So I had gotten it ready for the regulation. I changed all the strings, and I actually got a new set of new set of pedal caps, those little black rubber things on the pedals. I got a new set of those to put on because mine were getting a little worn, and I could have just replaced the worn ones, but I thought I'm going to get 7 new ones and it'll all look so beautiful and nice. So he replaced those for me, and we made a date to get my other harps regulated as well. So we'll get those done. But I just love getting my harp regulated. Let me see. Ellen has such a nice comment. She said, I was her in-person teacher. I was when I lived up in the State College area. So, and thank you for saying I'm awesome, Ellen. You are awesome too, my friend. So, and I do miss seeing you. That's for sure. Mia says she has extensions. Oh, wait. I'm looking back here, a couple comments. Mia says, how many harps do I have? She says, I only have 2, Gina and Crystal, and she has pedal extensions on Gina. So that's pretty nice. Well, I have 4 harps, which is a couple too many at this point. But I just acquired the 4th one, and so it's lovely. So I'll probably be selling one of them. It's nice to have 3 because I can have 1 upstairs here that I can use for calls, and 2 downstairs in case I have a friend over and we play some harp duets. So that's sort of nice. But I don't need 4. But it's kind of fun. So let me see. Tana says, I am a freshman at university in music therapy with the harp as my main instrument. What would you suggest for me and my career pursuits? I will not have a harp teacher after next week. Oh my gosh, it's really hard, right? When it's like, oh wait, I won't have a harp teacher because I'm going. So, Tana, the thing I would say is, if you're looking at music therapy, it depends on what kind of music therapy you're looking at. But there are a lot of programs that are related that you could look into pursuing at the same time. Or if you really think that you need to just keep your harp stuff up, I would suggest that you look at some of the harpists who are music therapists or do healing harp things, if that's something you're interested in as well. And maybe you could mentor with one of them over the summer. Just take a couple of, take some online lessons with them just to keep yourself going on that. I think what's going to be essential, obviously there's the whole therapy end of what you're doing that you want to research and be really aware of. But I also think that if you feel like you need to keep your harp skills sharp or maybe take those to the next level, then there are some great ways to do that. And you can take some, sort of one-off lessons with somebody. If you're looking for a little bit more support as far as, just somebody to keep you connected to the harp, there are coaches and teachers. Our coaching trimester registration is closed, so we won't have another one available till fall. But you could look into My Harp Mastery. I didn't mean this to be a selling opportunity exactly in that respect, but that membership would be something that you could keep up with over the summer. And it just has resources and things that would help you grow your harp skills while you're working on that, if that's something that would be interesting to you. So that's something to consider. Let me see. Michelle has feel free to follow up with another question here. So Michelle asked, question about harp mastery. I do think, you know what? I should put on my glasses because I'm squinting. I don't know. I have an appointment with the eye doctor next month. So, there we go. Some glasses. Question about harp mastery. I do think, says Michelle, eventually it would be good, but time constraints are huge. I work about 60 hours a week. I also play double bass in 2 different orchestras. I'm not sure how this would work with the coaches. Well, there are 2 different things here. Coaching with the kind of schedule that you are describing, probably coaching is not the right idea for you right now. Now we do, coaching won't be open again until the fall. So you've missed your opportunity to do it over the summer. But you can do a coaching program that only has 5 sessions with a coach over the 12-week trimester. And that can help you kind of move forward, and that can be great. But My Harp Mastery is not a time commitment. And that's what I've been talking about a lot lately. So the My Harp Mastery membership is something that you can do on your own time, and you can do as much or as little of it as feels comfortable to you. I mean, we have the Monday night calls, which are live, and we have and either I'm on the call or a coach is on the call. This week, I'm talking about a real specific way to apply those 4 practice steps that I talked about in the webinar this week. And we're going to work through them really in depth with, what, why, and how for each of those steps, plus show you how to apply them to your own music. So that's this week's workshop. Last week was Jazz Harp 101, which is kind of fun. We've got practice hacks coming up. We've got how to prepare ensemble music. We've got, so those are the workshops. And if you can't be on those calls live, either because you're in the wrong time zone, Monday nights don't work for you, or just because you're dead on your feet, all those are recorded and archived. So you can go back and look at those whenever it's convenient for you. And they're right on the site for you. But on the other hand, if you are like, wow, I really need some work on my chords. Well, we have courses that will show you how to do, that will walk you through. And I can show you those quickly, and I will do that here in just a second. So let me, that's one of those things that, let me see here. My Heart Mastery is just totally on your own terms and on your own time, is I think what I was trying to say. But I'm going to pull up My Heart Mastery for you, and you can just see. Let me do that now. So I'm going to see if I can come back here. Oops, not there. Come back here. Nice. Let me see if I can share my screen, and we'll do that. But let me look here. Michelle has another question. She says, what is the piece that you have on the opening now on the podcast? It's beautiful. Oh, thank you. That is La Source by Albert Zabel, Zabel. It's called La Source, or it's called Am Springbrunnen, or The Fountain sometimes. There are a bunch of pieces called La Source. There's a real famous one by Alphonse Hasselmann, but this is one by Albert Zabel. And it's the recording from my CD Romantische. So that's what I'm using. And that's at the beginning and the end of the podcast. It's the beginning of the piece, I think, more or less, and the end of the piece. So, or some close to the end of the piece, close to the beginning of the piece. So that's what that is. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Let me see if I can share my screen. And let me see. Oh, share screen. There it is. Okay. All right. I got this. Let me try this out here and see. I want this one. Nope, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I want this one. There we go. All right. So you can tell me if you can. I think you can see my screen. Let me make it a little bigger for you. And I shall disappear and you can see it. Okay. So this is the home page for My Heart Mastery. And we have this month's schedule. This is what the workshops were this month. Baroque Music for You, taught by Mary Jane DiArvo, and Learning Without Forgetting. And this was Candace, our certified coach, Candace Lark-Mizuchi, who was teaching practice techniques to allow your brain to grasp and remember what you need to play your piece. Not playing it from memory, but just the coordinations you need. Naomi Hoffmeyer, another one of our certified coaches, talked about practice hacks. Tips and tricks to help you conquer sticky spots in your music. And she's coming back later this month with part 2 of that workshop as well. And then we had Jazz Harp 101 with Christina, and we'll be coming up with with May's schedule here in just a couple of days. But what I wanted to show you here was the course library. If you go to our table of contents here, you can see these are all courses on musicianship. You can see the heading right there, musicianship. And all of these, we have a 30-day conservatory. It's sort of 4 courses on 4 conservatory style topics, but really easy takes on that. Again, with expression, learning how to practice those crucial elements of expression. Baroque music, there it is. Transposition trainer, how to help you learn how to transpose. core chord concepts, a little bit of harmony there, some more expression, taking a piano arrangement and turning it into a harp arrangement, how to do that. Some more Baroque music right there. Go with the flow, making your music flow. Another lesson on harmony, creating hymn accompaniments that actually work on the harp, how to make any piece playable for you. And another tip on arranging, there's Jazz Harp 101, learning to play by ear, how to master your metronome, a course on memorization. And these all have either a single workshop or some of them are little 4-week courses. They all have PDFs, they all have videos. This is Optimal Tuning, Optimal Sound. I remember that one. One of our coaches did that. That was terrific. Let me just show you. Here's let's see, Super Skill Flow. Well, let me go to Smart 7th Chords. This isn't, well, let's just keep on going. Then there are courses on practice, how to practice things, practice hacks, learning without forgetting. There you go. Momentum Miracle, plan your practice, plan for success, the Practice X method, progress principle, spot practice secrets, all those things. Then things to help you share your music, crash proof performing, putting finishing touches on a piece, review done right, how to review your pieces. Then a lot of things here on technique, whether we're talking about 4-note chords or playing faster or getting rippling arpeggios there and the fountain variations, fingering exercises, learning to get around the harp. We had a lesson on grace notes, raising, harp gestures. Coach Christina taught this one, I believe, making movement work for you. Independence for your hands, scales and arpeggios, left hand mastery, stuff on scales, stuff on speeding things up. So there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of courses. Plus, we have an entire library of featured pieces. These are pieces, the arrangements are right in My Harp Mastery. Many of these we sell in our shop, not all of them, but many of them that are in our shop started out as My Harp Mastery themes. And these are pieces that I have either created an entire course for, or most of these, we had an actual workshop where I worked through live learning these pieces. And they're all different arrangements. Most of them have 2 or 3 different, like a pedal version and a lever version and then an easier version. So, so there's something that you can learn and something you can play. And you can see there are a bundle of those as well. Yeah. So there's a lot, plus our Scale of Success curriculum. So that, I can stop the screen share here. So that gives you a real idea of everything that there is at My Harp Mastery. So there's really quite a lot, and you can pick and choose and go through those on your own. So, okay, there we go. Let's see what else here. Oh, well, Mia, you'd love to hear, well, maybe you'd like to hear me play live, right? Yeah. So, because you're on our YouTube channel, so there are a bunch of little things there. Well, we'll be posting more videos of me playing pieces as we go forward too. So, Michelle asks, how often do you have all the wire strings changed when you have your harp regulated for an amateur? Okay, I make sure that my wire strings are changed every year because I play a lot, my strings get used a lot, and those bass wires are the resonators for your harp. So now this harp needs the wires changed, but this harp is a different story. It's an older harp and I need to send it off to be rebuilt. So these wires are not nice and shiny. But the newer wires make your harp sound louder and more resonant. They have a better center to the tone. Now, if you're not doing as much playing as I do, every couple of years, maybe even a little bit longer, is fine. But when your harp starts to sound dull, or when the wires don't have that ringing quality anymore, that's when you want to change them. So it would be a good idea if you have your harp regulated every 2 years, every 3 years at the most, and be sure to have the wires changed when you have it done that way. Usually for my non-professional students who aren't doing a lot of playing, I recommend every other year have the harp regulated and have those wires changed. Your harp sounds so good when those wires are changed. It's just like, oh, it's got its voice back. So I think that's absolutely worth it. But, just realize that if those wires are starting to sound dull, they're not helping the rest of your harp resonate either. So let's see. Mia says, I didn't know you had some CDs. How many do you have? Yes. And are they available on iTunes? Yes, my CDs are available on iTunes. You'll find you'll find several of them on iTunes. You will find my 2 solo CDs, which are Romantische. It's like romantic, only it ends with an I-S-C-H-E. It's a German word meaning romantic. So Romantische is one of them. And Break Forth, which has a lot of Christmas things on it. It's all my own arrangements. And really much in a pretty concert style, actually. So Romantische and Break Forth are my 2 solo CDs. Then I have at least 2, if not 3 flute and harp CDs. 4 that you'll be able to find. One is, a couple of them are older. One is Reflections. One is Christmas Echoes. One is The Power of Two. And then there's the new one that, I don't think I have a copy of the new one, that was just released this past summer. And it's called To Dance With You. And it's the compositions that a friend of mine commissioned and that she and I worked with the composer on. And it's just beautiful, beautiful music. And it's a lovely CD. I'm just so excited about it. And that's called To Dance With You. And you can also find the CD, a couple of the CDs are in our shop. Not all of them. We have to remedy that. But I've been busy doing other things, so I haven't done that yet, but we will be sure to get them all in there. But you can find them on iTunes. Tana says, these practice tips are things I need. I have to go to class. Okay, well, there you go. Practice tips are good. Another question from Mia. She says, what technique do you use? Salzedo, French, Renier. I was taught the Salzedo method. And so that's what I use. And that's what I know how to teach well. I do, teach students of all kinds of methods. I mean, in my Harp Mastery, we have people who had a lot of formal training in French method, Grand Genie method, Salzedo method. We have folk harpists who have a completely different style of playing. We have people who have kind of no method or a hybrid, and that's all fine. So and our coaches in the coaching program know how to work with that as well. So, but me, I am from the Philadelphia area, and Philadelphia was a Salzedo stronghold. He founded the harp department at the Curtis Institute in Philadelphia, and I studied with one of his students, and I went to Curtis after his death. But so that's the method that I learned and the method that I play. Ellen, you will not be able to see Mia's posts because Mia is on YouTube, and so those posts come through to my chat. But they don't come through here. So if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube or if you're watching on the original link, you won't get to see everybody's posts in the chat. So that's the difference there. So let's see. Oh gosh, it looks like Mia said she was told to change her wire strings every 5 to 10 years. I think that's too long. 5 years maybe, but I certainly wouldn't go longer than that. Your harp will thank you if you change the wires. So, okay. Oh, well, but Mia also says she writes her own music. That's very, very cool. So the regulator and I were just talking today. There was somebody who came after me who had a smaller harp, and her husband was with her, and her husband just carried the harp in. And it wasn't, it wasn't a tiny harp. It was just a smaller pedal harp. And I said, it was, he had to carry it through the lobby of the hotel and then up in the elevator into the room. And it was a smaller harp and it wasn't a big deal, but I was just thinking, wow. I said, a cart would be a useful thing. And then we were reminiscing, and I was remembering that when I was learning the harp, until I got pretty much into college, we didn't have harp carts. There weren't any manufactured harp carts before, about the middle of the 1970s, maybe a couple years earlier, but the Mackay harp cart was sort of the first one that was commercially made. And it was a game changer, because until then we were taught how to carry the harp, how to do these 2-person carries. And that was just part of our harp training, to learn how to move harps. We didn't have harp carts. We didn't have quartz tuners. I mean, I learned to tune with a tuning fork. That's how I learned to tune. And when strobe tuners came out, these big boxes, it was terrific, except that we had to carry them with us. and we had to have an electric cord, an extension cord with us on stage so that we could plug the tuners in and tune with them when we were tuning an orchestra. It was incredibly awkward. And when I think that, now that we're carrying a telephone that is also a tuner and a metronome and all these other things, it was really amazing. But yeah, I thought, harp carts were a game changer for all of us, especially for those of us who did a lot of freelance work and we had to be able to move our harps in and out and around really quickly. Oh my gosh, Ellen says, I changed my Atlantide strings for the Atlantide, I guess it is, it's a Camac harp, so just letting everybody know. For the first time this week after 11 years, it sounds so much better and louder. I'm thinking about ear protection. Yes, exactly. It's such a difference to have new strings. You don't want to wait 11 years for sure. So that you don't want to do. So let's see. Sylvia says she's looking forward to the harp retreat. Yes. Sounds like I have a lot of advanced folks. No, it's a mixed bag at the harp retreat, Sylvia. So I know one of the students who's coming. She's been to a number of retreats, but she's a very shy lever harpist who would not consider herself advanced at all. So there. What else does Sylvia have to say? Let's see. I should do okay as a late beginner, early intermediate. Yes, absolutely, you will at the retreat. I play solely for my pleasure at home and love it when I perfect my songs. Yes, that's absolutely right. So there will be others at the retreat that are just like that. So you will not be by yourself there, Sylvia. No worries. Sylvia is coming to our harp retreat in Tennessee in August, and so I'm so excited to get to meet her and her daughter who's coming with her. Let me see. No, Mia, this is Sylvia Maracchini, not Sylvia Woods. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Different Sylvia. So she heard the name Sylvia and her mind went to Sylvia Woods. So yeah. So I wanted to show you. I put some new Post-its on my board here. My wall of fame, right? These are the My Harp Mastery members, and we've got some new ones. As they come in new, I'm sticking them up here in pink. So a big welcome here to Eileen, Vicky, and Melissa, who are our newest My Harp Mastery members. So thank you. I know Vicky's been around Harp Mastery for a while, so it's nice to have her in My Harp Mastery again. And Eileen and Melissa, welcome, welcome, welcome. So there we go. So lots of fun. So, all right. So what other questions have you for me today? I've got some time here, and I made time for you all. So, yeah, so let's see. One of the questions that the regulator asked me, which I didn't have I did have part of an answer to. And that's this. He wanted to know if I had tried the new sugarcane, they're not Saporito, whatever, the vegan strings that are out. And I told him, yes, I had tried them in Wales. When I was there, I didn't have a firm opinion about them because they put them on a brand new harp, and so I couldn't really tell what the strings sounded like. I said I have no experience with how long they last, but he was saying that he just regulated somebody's harp and she had restrung her harp with these strings, so they would be a substitute for gut strings, and they I didn't mind them when I played them, but I really didn't feel like I got a fair look at them. So, but they are out there, and something new, right? I remember when the fluorocarbon strings were new, and all kinds of stuff. So that was I've tried lots of different kinds of strings, but I haven't tried those yet. Other than playing them when I was at the World Harp Congress in Wales. So, what else is on your mind? I want to know tell me one piece that's on your music stand right now. I mean, assuming you have music on your music stand. I have some things on my music stand that I have to play for church on Sunday, and that was news to me because I thought we were doing it next Sunday. So I just have to do some quick cribbing on a harp and organ duet, an intermezzo based on the hymn tune Crimond. And then for a postlude on Sunday, I am playing a piece by Frank Waltz called Harpen Heiferdal, so which is a hymn tune. And it's just a fun piece. It starts out with glissandos and pedal changes, and then kind of sounds a little bit like a hymn version of La Source for a little bit. So I have some cram practice to do. And I just told you that cram practice didn't work, but now I'm backed into a corner here. So let's see. Mia says, I'm still not sure on the difference between fluorocarbon strings and sugar strings, or whatever you call them. I'm not sure what the difference, if any. I like my guts on my harp. Yes. Well, they're all choices, right? The strings that are made from non-organic materials, like your nylon strings or your fluorocarbon strings even, or some of the other polyfiber sort of strings, and of course the wire strings, they're all less affected by weather changes and temperature changes. So if you play outdoors a lot, they will stay in tune better. Or if you live in a place where humidity gets to be really a problem in your house, they will stay in tune better than gut strings will. I use gut strings on mine. I mean, nylon's up at the top, the wire's at the bottom, but I still like the sound of gut. The sugarcane strings don't involve animal products, and so there are some people that feel very strongly about that. I don't believe the nylon strings do either, but these have a sound that more approaches a gut string sound. Not a nylon sound. When in this fourth and fifth octave of the harp, nylon strings sound so bad, and those strings are pretty good. So, it's nice to have gut strings there, but there are some alternatives to check out for sure. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. What does she say? Susan says, is there some restriction on taking freebies without signing up to Harp Mastery? I've signed up for coaching, but really need to maybe do Harp Mastery at a later time. Don't want to overlap. Some restriction on taking freebies. I don't know coaching's certainly not a freebie. So, but My Harp Mastery, most of our coaching students actually, the majority are also in My Harp Mastery. And some of them like to work on some of the My Harp Mastery materials with their coaches. That's I wouldn't say that most of them do, but sometimes that works. And that's not My Harp Mastery and coaching, My Harp Mastery and lessons. They're very different. My Harp Mastery is really supplemental. It's a program meant to supplement your own study, whether you're studying on your own or studying with a teacher or studying with a coach. It's really meant to supplement that. So I would say that the greater proportion of our My Harp Mastery members are studying either with a coach or a teacher. Some of them are teachers themselves, so they're not. But although we have some teachers who are in our coaching program as well, taking, working with a coach, because you never stop learning, right? So there's that. But My Harp Mastery gives you a chance to talk about other stuff, to have that circle of harp friends. I mean, when you think about how valuable it is to have friends who share an interest with you. I mean, this is why we have book clubs and gardening clubs, right? And there's usually somebody in that group that you absolutely connect with. Well, this is sort of like the world's biggest harp circle. If you were going to get in a harp circle with a dozen people, I mean, that would be great. And you could meet at their house and you could, you'd share music, you'd play for and with each other, and it would be terrific, right? Well, we gather and talk harp every Monday night. And then, we have those smaller playing groups, the sounding boards that are member led. We help facilitate them and help get them formed. But these are groups where, you really do have harp buddies. So I think most of our My Harp Mastery members really see their membership as a community. They can get answers, they work through topics that maybe would never come up in their lessons. I'm going to come back to the topic we had last Monday, Jazz Harp 101. Most of the people in My Harp Mastery, not all, some of them are very interested in jazz, but most of them aren't. Most of them aren't going to be jazz harpists. And so for them to look at this idea of, okay, so here's how it's put together, and here's what your left hand is going to do, and here's what your right hand is going to do, and here's how we can start to use those techniques. They found that the techniques applied to what they were doing, and it was just a little glimpse into another aspect of harp playing that they may never follow through on for themselves, but something that they learned about. And I think if I had to identify two qualities that our My Harp Mastery members share, they would be these. They have a love of learning about anything that has to do with the harp. They're very curious. They want to know stuff, and they're interested in it. And then the other thing is that they're incredibly generous people. I mean, we have, and this was pretty recently, we had a member reach out to another member who, this other member was on one of our calls and was talking about some of the difficulties she has, and in playing for people particularly. And one of our other members reached out to her, and she reached out to me first and said, "Do you think it would be appropriate?" And I said, "Yeah, let me make the introduction for you." And so the two of them are play for each other regularly and are getting so much value from it, because we had somebody who felt like she didn't have a harp friend, and now she does. And she's just getting so much out of it. So let's see. Sarah says, "Hi, I've been struggling with the first sections in Huapango by Makaya. Any suggestions?" That's a piece I'm not that familiar with. I would have to probably look at it, but when you're struggling with anything that's fast, of course, your first job is to get it all working properly very slowly. And then the next step in general is to use the tempo pyramid is what I like, because it helps you ratchet up the tempo pretty quickly. There are some sort of, drastic things that can help you get used to something when it's very fast and you are not ready to take it so fast. You can sort of jump into the water and play along with the recording. See what you can do just to do that. But I think that if there's something specific in that piece that is making that fast passage more difficult for you, is it a particular fingering that you need to resolve? Is it a particular technique that you need to develop? Is it just learning the notes really, really well? That's probably what's going on. But to solve all those things, you want to make it right slowly first. Find a tempo where you can actually play that section and play it well. And then we can start building up speed. So there might be something specific in there that I don't know about, but that would be the general procedure for just about anything. So let's see. Michelle says, could you please clarify one more time the difference between My Harp Mastery and the coaching program? Okay, My Harp Mastery. Harp Mastery is just sort of the umbrella for everything. My Harp Mastery is the membership program, and that's a group program. It's not lessons. It doesn't have that kind of a thing. It's all about these. We've got courses that you can go through. We have a scale of success curriculum. If you want a more step-by-step approach, wherever you are, you can work through that. But we have the Monday night calls. And that's where you get to ask me or one of our coaches questions about what's going on in your world. And we have those specific topics that we're teaching on. So it's not instruction. It's not, let me show you how to play this piece. So that's not what it is. Now, having said that, as a group, we're all going to be working on a particular piece later in May. I'm doing a call on a featured piece. So it will be an arrangement that everybody in the membership will have access to. It'll be theirs for free, right? And we'll work through it together and talk about all the techniques that are needed to play it and how you work on it, work out the fingering and do all that kind of stuff. But it's not individual instruction, and that's the biggest difference. Is that clear, Michelle? And that's why we can offer it for just $47 a month, because what we're offering is live support. It's very important to me to have to provide teaching that is responsive, right? I don't want to just throw a bunch of courses out there that you can't ask me questions about or participate in. I don't want to just do a whole bunch of videos that you have no way to follow up on. So My Harp Mastery is a teaching program in that respect. You're going to get an answer. It's not just a YouTube video that you have to watch. It's a live person talking to you every week. And in the community, in the forum that we have, that's another place where we have members who are there to talk with, anybody about harp stuff and post questions. And, I from time to time, I get in there and answer things as well. So that's part of it. But it's live learning, but without a precise curriculum, and it's in a group setting. So everybody's learning together. So I hope that is clear enough for you. So let's see. Ellen asks, to what pitch should I tune my lowest two strings and my highest string? Okay, so some of you may not know, but on pedal harps, the very bottom two strings on a concert grand harp, the lowest C and the lowest D, and on some harps, the top G as well. On this harp, the top G is the same. They don't have discs. They don't have mechanism. So we have to tune them. For instance, some pieces, I might need a low D natural, and so I'll have to tune this to a D natural. Other pieces I might need a low D flat, and I'll tune it to a low D flat, but I have to tune it. It doesn't work with a pedal mechanism. So Ellen, this is my solution. I usually tune the D and the G, or the D and the C and the G. I usually tune those to natural because that's what I play most often. And so that's what I tune those to. Just because it's rare that, or more rare anyway, that I'm going to need a low C flat or a low D flat. Sometimes I'll need the low D flat, but then I'll write it at the top of my piece and remember to tune it. So I usually tune those to natural, all three of those strings. That's what I do. Sarah says, I'm wondering if I should not close my fingers all the way because I don't have time. You know, I had the most interesting conversation about that, Sarah, with a coaching student. We were doing a follow-up call, and after her program was done, and I had the most interesting call with her about it because I was, just sort of asking those general questions. So like, what was a big breakthrough for you in this coaching session? And she said, my coach really got on me about my technique, particularly about my closing. And she kept telling me that I would be able to play faster if I closed my fingers, but it was so counterintuitive that I really didn't want to do it. She said, but the funny thing was that she was right, that once I started closing my fingers, I found I could play faster because they were more nimble, they were more flexible, they were moving. And the thing is, if you're not closing your fingers, you're not getting the tone you want. You're not creating the mobility that you need to be able to get around the strings. You always have time to close your fingers. Now they're going to close and bounce out, right? But I realize this seems, to use that word again, counterintuitive, seems like you really don't have time to do it, but you absolutely do. So that's, you just, the thing about, let me put it this way. The thing about good technique is that it was developed to help you play, not to hinder you from playing. So the closing of your fingers isn't a baby thing that you abandon when you get good. It's something that you always do to make your playing good. So it's, it seems illogical, but generations of amazing virtuoso harpists couldn't all be wrong about that. So closing your fingers is just the thing to do, I promise. Mia wants to know if I have worked with someone with disabilities such as CP blindness or a learning disability of any sort. Yes, I have. It's more of a challenge over Zoom. It's more of a challenge online because it's harder to work with the visual and learning disabilities without being able to be there in person, especially for anything technical, because sometimes with vision issues, a touch is so much more effective than words. So I think that's difficult over Zoom, but I think that it's extremely rewarding for a teacher to be able to help somebody they know who really wants to play the harp and has specific and profound challenges like that. So yeah. Mia says, we tune my pedal harp and lever harp to the key of C, pedals in the middle, levers down. I don't play in flat keys very often. Absolutely. But when you tune your pedal harp, it's best for the strings and the regulation to tune with the pedals up and to tune it in C flat and then just play it in C. So you want to tune with all your levers down or all your pedals up. So Mia also says, I had a teacher that pushed me to go online from the beginning. I told her no, but then the COVID pandemic hit and you were kind of stuck. Yeah. I think when online is the best resource that you have, you go with it because I think it's better than nothing, and the right teacher is going to be able to figure out how to work with you. So, yeah. Okay. Well, this was really interesting. By the way, I should tell you that starting next month, starting in May, we are going to be making these sort of open Q&A calls a feature of the offerings that we have in our hub. The Harp Mastery Hub is a free community. We have, and many of you are in, our Facebook group, but there are people who don't enjoy being on Facebook, and they're not on Facebook, and so they can't join our group. So we're going to be doing a lot of what we do in that Facebook group over in the hub, including one of these sort of, Ask Ann Anything kinds of meetups from time to time. So there will be one of those showing up at some point in May. So we'll be doing those. We'll be starting a new challenge in the hub. If you are not a member, it's really easy to do to join the hub. You can come just to the homepage of Harp Mastery, and you will find out how to do that. If you, we have so many ways to connect, right? Our coaching registration won't open again until August. It will open up for our fall session, and my Gold Circle is full, but because that's where I teach. I teach in my Gold Circle. I don't teach in the coaching program. My Harp Mastery registration is open until Tuesday. We will close it on Tuesday. So if you're thinking about joining, this is the time to do it. You can just go to, Harp Mastery, look under our programs, and you will see My Harp Mastery. Click on it, click on the link, and join us, please. We'd love to have you there. We have, over 150 members worldwide. And so it's a terrific group. I can't tell you how much fun those calls are. And even if you can't be there live, to be part of them, just in the recording, and to be able to join in the other benefits of My Harp Mastery membership is pretty cool. So as I said, it's kind of the world's biggest harp circle, right? So there we are. So we have that. How else do we have to connect? The hub, My Harp Mastery, of course, listening to the podcast. I so appreciate those of you who do. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to sharing this week's episode with you, because I have some new music that I'll be playing for you on the podcast that, some of it will probably be new to you. Some of it is not new, or probably won't be new to you, but things that you might want to consider adding to your repertoire. So that will be on this Monday's podcast. We always have things going on. So, and here's Anne. She says, thank you so much for your time. Oh, and for sharing your expertise. Yep, Anne is one of our My Harp Mastery members, and we love having her there. So thank you. All right. I am going to, Mia says Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Maybe there's probably more than we are on a lot of platforms. Yes. Facebook, Twitter, yeah. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, we'll post on all of those. But our home is at our website at Harp Mastery, and in the Harp Mastery Hub, in our private Facebook group, Harp Happiness HQ, our special, our club, right, which is the My Harp Mastery. So that's our special people. So we've got lots of ways for you to connect, and connecting is part of what's going to keep that harp happiness level up there for you. So I am going to let you go. Home sweet home. Yeah, it is home sweet home. Absolutely. So I'm going to let you go for today. Please, if you haven't considered My Harp Mastery membership, it's only open till Tuesday. Then we don't open it again until October. So please consider that. And Mia says she loves the Facebook page and group. She says, I always come up with unique questions, and she really appreciates that. Thank you. All right. I will look forward to seeing all of you the next time I see you, hopefully on a My Harp Mastery call. All right. I will talk to you. Thank you. It's so wonderful to see you. And yes, Susan says, have a great weekend. You have a great weekend too. And I will be talking to you all very soon. Okay. Bye for now.